Okay, so we got two pretty popular overdrive pedals. The Tube Screamer is an obvious classic. I really do like just doing that standard kind of tightening up an amp, like a metal sound thing where you just, set the tone around anywhere around the middle, boost the level, drop the drive down. It really tightens up like my Marshall DSL in a good way and pushes the mid. So it's good for those aggressive sort of metal style chords. I've only just gotten the blues driver and we're going to kind of see how it fares, trying to do the same thing as kind of a standalone overdrive into a cleaner amp. The blues driver does really well for that edge of breakup sort of thing. And then it also gets kind of close to fuzz territory with the gain all the way up. Some people think it sounds a little bit fizzy around there. And we'll get more into that later. Starting off, current draw, BD-2, 13 and a bit milliamps. Let's check the TS-9. A little bit less there. And having a look at the frequency plots of each. Let me just plug these back in. So basically I'm just sending white noise straight out of Logic and then back into the channel EQ so it's pretty flat noise. And starting off with the blues driver. Sorry, there it is. So you can see it cuts a little bit of bass. Only below 100 Hertz, so not really too much of an audible way. And it's kind of pretty flat as a boost, really, with the gain all the way down. As we bring that gain up, it does stay surprisingly flat. Boosting the tone, you can see a slight bump around 5K. And then, yeah, that really does roll it off quite a lot. So you see it's basically a little bit of band pass going on there, not just a low pass filter. You can see it does bring the lows back in quite considerably down the bottom there, comparing to the TS-9. That's on, even though the light is dim. Let's just see max level minimum gain on both. So there's a pretty big difference already there. A lot more level from the blues driver. And if we do both, see, even with the gain all the way up on the Tube Screamer, there's a lot more output, especially in the high frequencies from the BD-2. You can see that mid hump on the Tube Screamer there, whereas the BD-2 is a lot flatter. So let's see if we want to match the levels when we're actually listening to this later. If we go like that, we still can't get there with the Tube Screamer, I don't think. The gain doesn't actually add as much level as it does with the blues driver. So bring that down. Okay, final thoughts. The Blues Driver sounds really good. Especially like it can, if you have only a clean amp, it can cover a lot of ground as just like the only dirt pedal you have. Even running into a clean amp, it sort of gets, fuzzy enough for leads, and there's enough mids. It doesn't have the same kind of strong mids of the TS-9. And that does have that really aggressive cut, like associated with kind of like metal chug tones that can be useful. But for everything else, I seem to prefer the Blues Driver. Although you may have noticed in the clip, it did seem to oscillate at some of the higher settings. I haven't had that happen before. It could be something to do with the bypass looper or the way it's being powered. I think I'll try it. We'll try it right now. We'll just have nothing else plugged in basically and just see if it oscillates. Because I don't think it should. So we're just going to go straight into the amp. Should be hearing noise from the cable. Actually, I'll plug it into the guitar as well, so everything's basically the same. Guitar volume's on full. And yeah, no oscillation. So something going on with everything else that was connected there. I don't think it's the fault of the pedal itself. I would definitely urge you to check out Shane from In the Blues video on this. He has a great, let's see if we can find it here. Okay, so Schnobel did a video. Sometimes though his videos, he doesn't crank the level. I think maybe he was doing these videos a lot before load boxes and such were as popular with non-master volume amps. So maybe he wasn't quite able to crank a lot of his overdrive pedals when he was making these demos. There's another one there from Better Music. I don't think I've watched that one. But yeah, Shane did one, look at that 10 years ago. Same as this. And the top comment, Blues Driver is more glassy sounding. That basically sums it up in a nutshell. the only other resource to check out on the Telecaster forums, there's a guy called 11 Gauge, and look, so he's got 11,000 posts, and he knows everything about these sort of the whole Boss overdrive evolution from the OD1 to the SD1, and then OD2, BD-2, OD3. So he sort of claims that the OD3 is an improvement, but they marketed it wrong, making it kind of an ugly yellow color. I somewhat agree with that. And, people thought it was a half-price SD1, whereas in fact the OD3 was sort of an evolution of the BD-2. Either way, I like them both. I think they're different enough. I wouldn't say one is better. In fact, I prefer the BD-2, but the OD3, super useful, heaps of gain, heaps of output. The tone control kind of lets it down a bit for me. It seemed like it was sort of only sounded, a lot of the Boss tone control, I don't know, they seem to sound best sort of close to the middle, and that's it. But, and it was kind of mid-bass heavy. I don't know, there's just something a bit generic about the OD3, but that being said, awesome pedal for live playing. It's like a Tube Screamer, but way fatter and more amp-like. So OD3 definitely gets a lot of love. So yeah, if you Google like 11 Gauge TD-PRI BD-2, you'll see a ton of his posts, and he gets mentioned on other forums basically. And then he also builds his pedals under the name Machine Head Pedals, which I've heard a lot of great things about. I'm not affiliated with him in any way, but yeah, just he has some awesome information to look into. All right, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.